Hey, what's up, you guys? And it has been a minute. It's been a long time. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me just start off with apologizing for being gone for so long, for being gone for 2 months and some change. Um, the short story of it is I've been having a lot going on in my life, and as much as I wanted to keep making reviews, I wasn't able to. But I'm back now, and I'm coming back with a bang. I'm coming back with a figure that I didn't even know would be on my radar because I didn't even know that this figure was even coming out. I just was on YouTube one night and I was scrolling through and I saw a Tobey Mcguire Spider-Man figure, and I'm like, wait, what? Now I knew about the 3 pack, but the 3 pack didn't have the alternate heads. But I was just scrolling through YouTube one night, and while I was scrolling, like I said, I saw a YouTuber have this figure, and I was interested, of course, because FYI, Tobey Maguire is my favorite Spider-Man of all time. He's, I mean, maybe of all time is a bold statement, but he's definitely my number one Spider-Man as far as the movies go. Tobey Maguire is it. I never really been a fan of Andrew Garfield. I was a fan of Tom Holland's, but then the way how Disney Marvel, you know, wound up progressing his story, I wasn't really a fan of. And the Andrew Garfield movies just didn't click with me. But I did enjoy Andrew Garfield in No Way Home. I did. And more on him as this review goes forward. But this is the main man right here. This is Tobey Maguire. This is my man. This is my Spider-Man. And the complaint I have, I'll see how I feel once I get him out of packaging, but the suit looks fantastic. It does. Yeah, the suit looks fantastic. I have two problems with this figure, which is probably going to knock it down a couple of points. The first problem I have is the head sculpt. From what I'm seeing now, before I get out of packaging, and from when I was looking at so many reviews on YouTube, this doesn't look exactly like Tobey Maguire. Now, I've seen people have different opinions on this when they reviewed him. When I watched on YouTube, some people think it looks just like him. Some people think it doesn't look like him at all, and some people are in the middle. I think I'm probably in the middle. I could see some angles, and I can see like some features of Toby in this head sculpt. It's not a terrible head sculpt, not by any means. It's a good head sculpt, but they didn't nail it like they nailed it with Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield. Because I saw those figures. I'm not buying them. I mean, I might buy Andrew Garfield if he goes like on sale, like on eBay or something. I might pick him up because that's how good he looks. Like Andrew Garfield is the best head sculpt that they did out of the 3 figures. Andrew Garfield is number one, and then Tom Holland comes number two because they nailed Tom Holland's head sculpt. And then Tobey Maguire, unfortunately, this figure comes in last place. He comes in third. Because they did good enough, but they didn't do as good as they should have, like they did with Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland. But I'm still super stoked about this figure. I'm very happy to have it, and I can't wait to crack my packaging and review it. And I can't wait to, you know, get into this review. Marvel Legends series, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. This is the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I don't know why they calling him that. He wasn't called that in the movie. They just called each other Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 3. So you got Tom Holland there. You got Andrew Garfield there. And you got Toby there at the top. And you got Marvel Studios, Spider-Man, No Way Home. You got the back, Holland, Garfield, and Maguire. Marvel Studios, Spider-Man No Way Home. And you got the read up. The read up is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Our friendly neighborhood hero swings in to help his fellow Spideys in his iconic suit. You ain't lying. This suit is freaking iconic. You ain't lying. You are not lying. So you got all the legalities down here. I'm 5 minutes in, so I need to start speeding this up. Got all the legalities down here. Marvel Hasbro. Nothing at the bottom. And got the top with Tobey. Got the side. The other side. And yeah, so I'm going to crack this figure open. And I'm going to deep dive and give my thoughts on how I feel about this figure. So stay tuned. Okay, so now that I cracked Tobey out of the packaging, yeah, I'm still mixed. On his head sculpt. I've gotten a good look at him. So yeah, besides his head sculpt, the second complaint I have is his body. When I first saw him on YouTube, I thought he had a dad bod, but I guess if you stick his gut out like that, it kind of looks like he has a dad bod. But I guess he doesn't have a dad bod, but he's not that muscular. I mean, he has a little bit of muscle definition, just a little bit. He's kind of flat, and he just kind of has thick thighs. You know, they kind of made him look like I don't want to say a grandpa, but like a dad, like a Spidey dad. And I get it. Tobey is the oldest out of the three. He's older than Garfield and definitely Tom Holland. I get it, but you didn't have to, you didn't have to go that route, especially with the head that they gave him, because like everybody has been saying on YouTube, this head sculpt is not, the face he should have from No Way Home, because in No Way Home, obviously, Tobey is older. But I'm actually glad they didn't do that, because I prefer a younger Tobey Maguire for my collection. So I'm actually glad that they went the route that they went and gave him this younger head sculpt that they did. I prefer it. But as I keep looking at him, I'm just, becoming a little bit more disappointed, because they really dropped the ball. They really could have nailed his head sculpt like they did with Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland, and they didn't. They kind of misfired. And I'm trying to pinpoint exactly what it is. I keep thinking it's his eyes, his mouth, maybe. I guess his nose is fine, I guess. But it's just something that's just off with this head sculpt. It's decent, it's good. I'm not saying it's a bad head sculpt, it's not. And like, definitely from certain angles, you could see that it's definitely Tobey. And certain features, when you look at his head, from the front, and certain features you could see Tobey, but not completely. He kind of looks like either a cartoon version of Tobey or a comic book version of Tobey, which I guess usually I would be fine with, because I love comic book version of, characters. But for some reason, I'm not fine with this, because this is supposed to be Tobey Maguire. This is the Tobey Maguire, the Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man that got it started in the movies. And they should have went all out. They should have did him justice. And I don't feel like this head sculpt does him justice. Personally, in my opinion, I don't. And that's disappointing to me. It's not overly disappointing to me, but it is disappointing. But I do like the way they did his hair. I think they did his hair very good. I don't have no complaints with that. They did his hair very, very nice. And that is how Tobey Maguire had his hair. Well, not in No Way Home. He didn't, but in Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, well, definitely Spider-Man 2, this is how his hair was looking. So, and I think they did good with his ears as well. But yeah, you look at him, and when I showed him to my wife, in the packaging, she looked and she said, "Oh, that's Tobey Maguire." So I said, "Oh, so you can tell." She said, "Yeah, but," she said, "he doesn't really look like Tobey Maguire." So I was like, "Yeah." If my wife noticed that, then yeah, definitely he does not fully look like Tobey Maguire. So I'm 10 minutes in. I'm rambling enough. Let's finish getting into the figures. So they, like I said, they did excellent with his costume. I'm still bummed that they didn't give him more muscle definition, because Tobey Maguire, even in No Way Home, dude had muscles. So he must have been working out to get back in that suit, because he wasn't scrawny, and he definitely wasn't flabby. He has some muscle tone. So I don't know why they made him look this thin. At first I thought he had like a dad bod, but he doesn't really have a dad bod, but he's not, because I looked at Andrew Garfield's build on that figure, and I looked at Tom Holland's, and they have more muscle definition than Toby. Now I get it, he's older. He's the oldest out of the three, but still, you don't have to do him like that. So those are my two big complaints. His body, I'm not really satisfied with, and the head sculpt, I'm not fully satisfied with. I'm satisfied with his head sculpt to a certain degree, but not fully. But the costume is excellent. The sculpting on the webs is outstanding. I love that. The raised sculpt of the spider logo is excellent. You got the silver going across. You got the silver going across here on his belt line. You got the weapon going all throughout his arms, his gloves. Excellent. I love that. You got the weapon going all throughout the back, through his neck. It's just excellent. It really makes the figure pop. The blue is excellent. I wish they well, they did a little bit. If I don't know if my camera is picking it up, but they didn't do it enough. I wish there was more detail in the legs. Like you could see a little bit. They added a little, and you could see some around the crotch area. They added some detail there, but I wish they added more. The boots is good. The boots is excellent. Very nicely sculpted. For the most part, I don't see any blemishes on my figure, which I thank God for. And then you got that famous Spider-Man 2 symbol on the back, which is excellent. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So no issues. I have zero issues with the costume. They did excellent. And I'm very satisfied with what they did with his Spider-Man uniform. Excellent. So, these are his accessories: the alternate Spider-Man head and the two whipping hands. So he comes with two whipping hands, one grippy hand, and one fisted hand. If I didn't show before, I'll show it now. You see the fisted hand and the grippy hand, and the Tobey Maguire head. So that's all his accessories. I don't have an issue with that. A lot of people are complaining with that. I guess I could understand that, because in the 3-pack he came with more hands, but in this single release he comes with less hands. He comes with the Tobey Maguire head, which is what everybody is buying him for, but he comes with less hands. Me, it doesn't really bother me that much, because I'm probably going to use these two whipping hands the most, or maybe one fist hand and one thwip. So it doesn't really bother me that he only has one wall crawling hand. Like, that doesn't really bother me, but I could understand why it upsets other people. Especially for the price point. I can understand that. But the mask looks excellent. So I'm very satisfied with that as well. I think some of the lines may be missing some of the silver paint as I'm looking at it, which is unfortunate, but it's not too bad. It's not too noticeable. For the most part, it looks good enough. It looks good, especially from certain angles. He looks really good, and I'm happy that there's no issue with my eyes or nothing like that, because I was worried about that. Like, what if one eye was cocked off to the side, or what if both of these eyes were like spread out too far, or what if one of the eyes was missing black paint, or I was worried. So happy to report that from what I'm seeing so far, his eyes are fine. the sculpting of his webs on his mask is fine, except for some is missing a little bit. But besides that, that's not really too much big a deal. That's not a deal breaker for me. That's fine. That's you know, trying to get him to stand. He's trying to fall for some reason. But yeah, so I'm fine. The suit is excellent. They did very good. Like, that's the biggest highlight of this figure. I mean, the biggest highlight is supposed to be the Tobey Maguire head, but for me, unfortunately, they dropped the ball a little bit. The Tobey Maguire head, like I said, is good, it's decent, it's good, but it could have been better, especially as I saw what they did with Holland and Andrew Garfield. Especially Andrew Garfield. Hasbro must love the shit out of him, because that head sculpt, like, I just might get that figure just to show y'all, just to compare it. But I mean, y'all don't have to take my word for it. Just look at, other YouTube reviews who reviewed him on YouTube, if you don't have the figure yourself. Andrew Garfield, they nailed his head sculpt. He looks identical to the actor. I don't know how they did that, but he does. And Tom Holland looks good too. But they've had many years to perfect Tom Holland. But how they did Andrew Garfield that good, I don't know. How they kind of screwed up Tobey's head sculpt, I don't quite understand that. But it is what it is. Now, for people who brought the 3-pack, if you buy this figure and you look at the Tobey head and you're disappointed, then you're going to be disappointed with this figure overall. Because if you already have this figure from the 3-pack, that's what this figure is. I didn't get the 3-pack. I wasn't interested in it because it didn't have any alternate heads. And I was like, nope, I'm not getting it. And in classic Hasbro fashion, to milk people for more money, this is what they did. They released a single cart with the alternate heads. And I'm glad I waited, because I wasn't getting that 3-pack. I was not jumping on it, especially for the price. And so I waited for this. And I'm glad I did. So what I'm saying about the suit, I'm saying from my own experience, because I don't have the 3-pack. So if you get this figure and you don't have the 3-pack, I think the thing you would be most impressed with is the suit, because they did very, very good. I can't really complain about the suit. I really can't, because they did really good. But some of you might like the Tobey Maguire head. Like I said, there's other people on YouTube who love the Tobey Maguire head. I'm just kind of in the middle. I like it, and there's things about it that I don't like, because it doesn't look exactly like him. Not to me, anyway. So I keep rambling. I apologize for that. Let's move on with this video. Let's move on with the review. All right, so going into articulation. Head can look left, right. I mean, it can go all the way around. We know that. He can look up that far, which is really good. I mean, it's good enough. He can look down a little bit. He does have attitude, and he does go, all around. He has this separate neck joint there, if you can see it. You see that? He has this separate neck joint here, and you can move it, but it doesn't really do anything. So that's weird. I don't know why they keep adding this cut there in the neck. They need to just leave that alone and stop doing that. His arms can go, wow, out that much, which is really impressive. And my figure is turned to the okay, there we go. Now, and he can rotate fully. He has a butterfly joint, as you can see, in and out. Butterfly joint. Why does my figure keep? Jeez. Okay. Upper bicep swivel. Doubly jointed elbows. Wrist and hinge rotation. He has this upper diaphragm joint. It can pivot left and right. It can go all the way around if you like. It can go all the way around if you like. And nothing in the lower waist. He can split out about that much. He can kick forward about that much. He can kick back about that much. Upper thigh cut. Doubly jointed knees. he also has a drop down in his leg. If you can see, he has the drop down there, and there's no swivel in the boot. Well, that's strange. His foot can hinge down, his foot can hinge up, and he does have a beautiful ankle pivot. So that's what you're gonna get from Mr. Tobey Mcguire here, which you can get your Spidey into. Well, I've seen people articulate him. You can get him into some pretty cool poses. So I'm very happy with that, and you should be too. If you get this figure, just know you can get him in as many dynamic poses as you can. Now, you probably can't pull all the poses off, but I think you can get him in enough dynamic poses because I've seen people do it. So this is me attempting to get, I suck at posing. I really do. But, you know, this is me trying to get Pete into a pose. But yeah, I mean, I've seen other people do some outstanding stuff with this figure. I'm not that good at it. I'm not great at posing figures. But, you know, this is a really good figure. I've been hovering between a score of 7.5 or an 8. I gotta do some size comparisons because I almost forgot to do that. So I will ponder what I'm going to rate him while doing size comparisons. All right, so in size comparison, here's Rhino next to Spidey. I'll try to move the camera a little bit so you can get a good sense of how tall Rhino is compared to Spider-Man. Yeah, so Rhino's a big boy, which we all know that. And here is Spidey next to Mysterio, and I think they look pretty good together. And here's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man next to Scorpion and the Vulture. He looks awesome with them as well. So that is so freaking cool. The Lizard next to Spider-Man, that is really awesome. That is really, really dope. I'm really feeling that as well. Yes, so my Doc Ock is messed up, guys. I apologize. I had him in storage, and me forgetting that his tentacles are not wired. So when I had him in storage, it got all bunched up, and you know, now he's stuck like this, and I'm pretty upset. But I still thought I would show this, you know, Doc Ock with Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I'm definitely going to get the Alfred Molina Doc Ock that's coming out. I missed the pre-order, but I know they're going to get more. So I'm going to pre-order him from Hasbro Pulse, and it's supposed to come out in February, so I will have that figure, and I will definitely review that for you guys. I wanted the Willem Dafoe Green Goblin, because I just love Willem Dafoe. He's such a great actor, and I loved him as the Green Goblin. But that thing is just sold out, and they have not restocked it yet. And I don't know if I'm ever going to get my hands on that. But I definitely will get the Alfred Molina Doc Ock. That's for sure. So yeah, so I almost forgot about this, guys. Almost forgot about this. I'm glad I didn't forget because I saw the body bug sitting off on the side, and I was like, oh shit, I almost forgot. So yeah, so of course you can pop your Tobey Maguire Peter Parker onto a civilian body, and this is how he will look. And I love this. I think he looks fantastic. I think this is probably the body I'm going to use for him, for my Peter Parker. And it looks great. The complexion matches. The clothes he's wearing looks good on him. So yeah, so you definitely can kit bash, which is awesome. That's what I love about Marvel Legends Hasbro. Okay, so I couldn't help it. I wanted to compare both Peter Parkers. So you have Tobey Maguire Peter Parker, and you have comic book Peter Parker. And I think this is really cool, both of them being side by side. So I might display this on my shelf like this. I probably might do that because this is really cool. I really apologize for this long review, guys, but both Spideys in their suits and out of their suits. I just thought I would do that last comparison. And if you were curious, he also pops on this Peter Parker body as well. The complexion is slightly off, but you can make this work as well. I customized his sneakers, which I love these sneakers. But he looks good on this buck as well. He looks good on this body as well. So you also can do that. Oh, and one more comparison I forgot to do. I mean, how could I forget about his arch nemesis, Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin? So this is a maskless Norman, and with the mask, full-on Goblin, with Spidey, and that looks cool. That looks awesome too. So I really wanted the Willem Dafoe Green Goblin, but like I said, he's completely sold out. I don't know when they're gonna restock him. So you know, these figures are really hard to get because a lot of us have nostalgia for this version of Spider-Man, the Tobey Mcguire, Sam Raimi universe. A lot of us love that universe, and I definitely am one of those people. But he looks good with this Norman Osborn and Green Goblin as well. Oh, and one more thing I forgot about the articulation. Totally forgot. He goes all the way back, so he crunches back that far, and he crunches forward that far. So you really get some serious back action there. Ah, my back, my back. So yeah. Okay, so finally we've reached the end of this video. I apologize again, guys, for the video being so long. But I mean, those of you who know my channel, who are subscribed to my channel, y'all know I do long videos every now and then. I don't think I intended this video to be this long, but it is Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and I had a lot to say. And so I've reached the conclusion of this video, and I'm going to give my final thoughts and my final rating. So with everything I'm taking into consideration, everything I like about the figure, I like this figure very much, very, very much. I wanted a new updated Tobey Maguire figure, and I have one. I didn't know Marvel Legends Hasbro was going to do this, and they did it. And I'm happy that they did it because I'm a huge Tobey Maguire fan. He is my Spider-Man in live action. He just is. I don't know if that's ever going to change. It probably never will. I guess time will tell. But so far, it's been how many years? And he's still my favorite Spider-Man. So I'm very happy to have him. His articulation is very good. It's excellent. The sculpting and the paint on him is excellent. I love it. I'm not overall happy with his body, but it's fine. It's his body. I felt could have been more muscular because he is Spider-Man. Whether he's older than Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland or not, he is still Spider-Man, and he still should have a better physique than the one that Hasbro gave him. So I'm not really happy about that, but his body isn't terrible. It's still decent. It's fine. And his head sculpt is decent. It's fine. And from certain angles, now that I'm looking at him from this angle, he looks more like Tobey. So from certain angles, he will look more like Tobey Maguire, but when you're looking at him straight on, he doesn't fully capture Tobey Maguire's likeness. And that's my biggest problem with this figure. If they would have nailed the head sculpt identically where he looked like Tobey, I would have been over the moon. I would have probably gave this a 10 out of 10 or a 9.5 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. But I'm not going to give him that. I'm still hovering between 7.5 and 8. I think as a figure overall, I think it's a nice package, especially if you did not buy the 3-pack. Now, if you bought the 3-pack, then you just might be very disappointed with this figure because it's the exact same figure. There's no doubts about that. I don't need to compare it because I've seen on YouTube, I've seen other reviewers compare it, and this is the identical figure from the 3-pack. The only difference is you get into Tobey Maguire head sculpt. So that's where I feel Hasbro dropped the ball. If they would have nailed his head sculpt like they nailed it with Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland, this figure would have been a home run. But I still like this figure a lot, and I still like the head sculpt. I still like it. You know, even in spite of it not looking identically like Tobey, which is what I wanted, I still like it. So I think I made my decision. I think I'm going to give this figure an 8 out of 10. And the reason I'm going with the 8 out of 10 is because they nailed his costume. The costume is ripped straight out of Spider-Man 2. It just is. And even No Way Home. So it's a combination of the both. The head sculpt is a younger Tobey head sculpt, which I'm very happy about that. If they would have went with the older Tobey Mcguire from the movie, I probably wouldn't have been as satisfied. So I'm glad that they went younger. And yeah, I don't love the head sculpt, but I don't hate it either. It's fine. It's decent. And I'm still happy with it. Just to have a Tobey Maguire figure, an updated one with this head sculpt, I'm still happy with it. He gets an 8 out of 10. Okay, so I'm about to get up out of here, people. But just one last thing I wanted to get into. Just one last thing. So I pulled my old Tobey Maguire Spider-Man out of my bin. I went, took me some time to find him as I paused my video, and I found him. So I'm going to do a step-by-step comparison. I'm not going to take too long, but I'm about to end the video. The video is long enough. But just first and foremost, take a look at the head sculpt. Now, you tell me which head sculpt looks more like Tobey Maguire. To me, it's this one. And this is a very old figure. This figure came out when the first Spider-Man movie came out. You can even tell with the different Spider-Man logo on the back. Because this is Spider-Man 1 logo. This is that Tobey Maguire. This is Spider-Man 2. And also his build. Look at the difference between the build in both of these figures. Look at the depth of his arms. Look at the depth of his chest, his muscles, his abs. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the difference. Look at the muscles in his legs. Look at that. And also the detail in his legs. This is a very old figure, so he has not aged too well. But yeah, just that quick comparison, I just wanted to show the difference between both these figures. In my opinion, I think this looks more closer to Tobey than this figure does, which is unfortunate because this is back in the Marvel Legends Toy Biz days. This is back in Toy Biz, and look how they nailed it. Look how they nailed Tobey Maguire's likeness. This is an old ass figure, but they nailed it. Is it perfect? Is it a perfect head sculpt? No. But this is more closer to Tobey than this figure is. And that's what's disappointing. That's what's disappointing. So now that I've showed you that, showed you my comparison, went into my little rant. This video is 33 minutes now, going on 34 minutes. So I'm going to get up out of here. That has been my review. Oh, I forgot. I keep saying last thing, but I don't know if I can even get this mask on anymore, but I'm going to try. It's so old. I'm doing it on camera too, so that's going to take even more time. Well, let's see if I can get this mask on here. Let's see if I can get it on there. It's very old. Part of it is torn too. But that was cool. I mean, it's not so cool now. You see it's ripped, because all the wear and tear I put on it. But back in the day, this was cool. To me, this was cool. You can slide his little mask up, and reveal his mouth. So that's it. This has been my review of the Spider-Man No Way Home Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Tobey Maguire action figure. Hope you enjoyed this review, and welcome back me. And I'm gonna try to crank out some more reviews. Well, I got a review coming up next that I think you guys are gonna enjoy. So this has been my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and until next time, see ya.